So bonjour à tous. Welcome you all for this new academic year. We already started, but still we had a small break in between. Okay, the summer holidays. Hope you enjoyed or hope you are safe. That's more important now, and hope you're aware of the current situation. So try to help and support your parents. Okay, as much as possible. And we'll pray for the betterment. Right. So about the 10th standard uh, French. Okay, we have already started the first lesson in the live class. Hope you remember. So there are 8 lessons, and all 8 are like properly planned. Okay, we got 10 exercises and then 3 compositions. Okay, 2 dialogues and 5 question answers. So that's what we have. Just the opposites, we'll be having it from outside. Okay, I'll send you a doc. And so the PDF, okay, the book, if you have already, that's well and good. Anyway, we'll share you the PDF again in our group. And so the notebook, hope you're having a notebook. Hope you're having a notebook for 10th standard French. If you got a 192 pages, that's well and good, so that we can write the composition, everything in the same notebook. No need to write here and there. Okay, and so today we'll do a small revision of what we saw already in the live class. Okay, so maybe from the next class we'll do the translation. So in the live class we were doing the grammar part. Okay, the grammar exercises of lesson 1, and so the next class we'll do the translation, the question answers, and so on. Okay, the composition we'll do it later. Okay, the composition for lesson 1, 2, 3, maybe we'll do it together later. Okay, for now we'll finish the grammar part and the book. Okay, so the lessons and so on. All right, so we'll get started. So here we go. So the book's name is C'est formidable. As you already saw, we got 8 lessons. In each lesson we'll be having 2 dialogues which got to be translated to English, and so 5 questions, and the grammar exercises you'll be having 10 in each lesson, and then the composition, so we'll be having 3 in each lesson, so 1 dialogue, 1 essay, and 1 letter. Okay, so this is it, and we're talking about the first lesson. Okay, in the during the live class. So this is actually la meteo. So la meteo, which means the weather forecast. So we almost finished all the exercises, I guess, and we got to finish the translation. So maybe this session will be just doing the exercises. We'll just do the revision of the exercises. As you know, the exercises are more important for your exam, because it's always like with 1 mark and so on. Okay, the translation you just got to write it in English, and which is quite simple. Okay, so in the grammar part, actually, even if you miss a single accent, that would be really, you'll be losing marks. Okay? And so careful with the spellings, the accents, the gender. Okay, the masculine, feminine, singular or plural. So whatever it is, so be careful with it. Also the conjugation. Right? In lesson 1, the most important grammar part will be le futur proche and le futur simple. Okay, the very first exercise will be having futur proche. So you know how to conjugate a verb in future proche, right? So it's actually the verb aller in present tense. You conjugate the verb aller in present. So then you conjugate, you just put the infinitive form of the verb. Okay, no need to conjugate the following verb. So here, for example, we have conjugated the verb déjeuner. Oui, je vais déjeuner. Tu vas déjeuner. Il va déjeuner. Elle va déjeuner. On va déjeuner. Nous allons déjeuner. Vous allez déjeuner. Ils vont déjeuner. Elles vont déjeuner. Right, so the verb déjeuner, it's not conjugated, it's in the infinitive form. Just the verb aller, it's conjugated in the present form. Right, so je vais déjeuner, which means I'm going to have lunch. Okay, I'm going to have lunch. Déjeuner means to have lunch. So we don't have an exact word in English, okay, to lunch, but in French we got, okay, déjeuner. And so this is actually the first exercise. Mettez les phrases suivantes au futur proche. Je vois les tableaux de Renoir. So you can see the verbs. You got to find the verbs. Okay, you can see the book. They will be in black. Okay, just to highlight them, I've given in red. So je vois les tableaux de Renoir. So I see the Renoir's paintings. Okay, so the birds or the paintings. So you got to pick the verb first. Okay, you got to pick the verb and you got to change it to future proche. Okay, so careful with the spellings. Very careful with the spelling. So that's why we have made a slide. Okay, so that you won't be making mistakes. Okay, so because actually at times you'll be writing VAIS. Okay, instead of VOIS. Okay, so it won't be so clear. So it's actually VOIS. Okay, you can copy it from the book. And same way the answer is VOIR. Okay. So the second one, quelle langue étrangère apprends-tu à l'école? So the verb apprendre is conjugated in present tense. Okay. Apprendre to learn, voir to see. Les élèves sortent à midi. Okay, the students go out at noon. Sortir, the verb, infinitive form, and which means to go out, to exit. Mes parents achètent une nouvelle maison. So my parents buy a new house. Acheter, to buy. So it's in present tense. My parents are buying a new house. Tu composes un email à ton ami. Okay, so you compose an email to your friend. You send an email to your friend. You type an email to your friend. Okay, so composer, the verb. Okay. So now let's check the answers. You got to change it to future proche. The subject will remain the same. The subject will remain the same. Je vais. Okay, as I told you, we conjugate the verb aller. Je vais voir les tableaux de Renoir. Quelle langue étrangère tu vas apprendre à l'école? So, what foreign language you are going to learn at school? Oui. So, tu vas apprendre. You are going to learn. Je vais voir. I am going to see. Les élèves vont sortir à midi. So the students are going to go out at noon. Okay, so vont sortir. Mes parents vont acheter une nouvelle maison. So my parents are going to buy a new house. Ils vont acheter. The last one. Tu vas composer un email à ton ami. So you are going to send, you are going to type an email to your friend. Tu vas composer. Right? So this is it, future proche. So moving to the second exercise, same way you got to conjugate the given verbs in future proche. So je visite les bouquinistes du quai de la Seine. Okay, so I'm visiting the booksellers. Okay, so the Seine quai. So quai, which means the platform or the sides of Seine. The verb visiter. Okay, visiter. It's an er ending verb. Right, that's the most important thing. You got to know the infinitive form of the verbs. Right. So vous n'accompagnez pas les enfants à l'école. Okay, so you're not accompanying the children to school. Okay, so the verb accompagner is there, to accompany. It's an er ending verb too. Okay, so j'annonce. Okay, so it's actually J apostrophe only. J'annonce la nouvelle de ma promotion à mes parents. Okay, so I'm announcing the news, the promotion news, to my parents. The verb annoncer, it's an er ending verb, cer ending verb. The fourth one, les élèves apprennent le poème de Ronsard par cœur. The students are learning Ronsard's poem by heart. Par cœur means by heart. So here it's actually the verb apprendre. Okay, so don't get confused. Do not put er here. It's a common mistake we used to do. Apprendre. Okay, apprendre. The verb apprendre. And the last one, tu consultes un astrologue. Okay, so you consult an astrologue. So consulter, it's an er ending verb. So astrologer. Okay, so consulter, it's an er ending verb. So, okay, just the verb apprendre, it's a different verb. So now we'll check the answers. So here, je vais visiter les bouquinistes du quai de la Seine. Vous n'allez pas accompagner les enfants à l'école. So I'm going to visit. You're not going to accompany. Je vais annoncer la nouvelle de ma promotion à mes parents. So I'm going to announce. Okay, I'm going to let them know. Okay, so je vais annoncer. Les élèves vont apprendre le poème de Ronsard par cœur. The students are going to learn. Okay, vont apprendre. Tu vas consulter un astrologue. So you are going to consult an astrologue. Right? Voilà. So moving to the third exercise now. Before going to the third exercise, you got to know about future sample, the basic rules of future sample. So le radical du verbe plus les terminaisons. Oui, le radical du verbe plus les terminaisons. So for each and every verb, you got to learn the radical. Okay, we say le radical. So same way, for example, if you take a verb, for example, jouer. Okay, so the first thing you'll be knowing the meaning, right? Okay, so when you're learning a verb, so you'll be going for the meaning in English. So jouer, which means to play. So then, before saying future simple, we'll be learning passé composé. Okay, we started learning passé composé in 8th standard. So we will be learning the past participle of the verb, right? So you just cut R, you add an accent, right? So then actually in 9th standard we were saying some tenses. Okay, even imperfect we were saying. So it's simple. Okay, you cut ONS from the new form of the present tense. Okay, so it will be like JOU will be the radical for imperfect, and for future sampler, for the ER ending verbs it will be the same. Okay, so jouer, JOUER will be the same in radical. Okay, so you just write JOUER, and then the endings you got to remember AI, AS, AA, ONS, EZ, ONT, ONT. So they are quite similar with the verb avoir in present tense, right? Okay, so AI, AS, AA. So just for no and who you remove AV. Then ONT, ONT is same. Okay, so it will be like je jouerai, tu joueras, il jouera, elle jouera, nous jouerons, vous jouerez, ils joueront, elles joueront. So je jouerai, which means I will play. Okay, I will play. So which is future. Okay, I will play later. I don't know when. Okay, I'll play later. Okay, so the difference between future sample and future proche, it's not big. Okay, so future sample is something a bit late in the future. Okay, and future proche is something near. Okay, which is going to happen at some time. We use future proche, and future sample is something later, and it's not certain that this may happen. Okay, so that's the difference between future sample and future proche. So here, if it's an ER ending verb, to find the radical, it's quite simple. As I told you, you just write as it is. Okay, so ER. So till ER you write, you get the radical, you add the endings. So, but what about the irregular verbs? Okay, what about the other verbs which end with IER, OIR, RE, and so on? So for same way for the IER ending verbs, okay, TIR ending verbs, the radical will be the same. For example, sortir, okay, partir. Okay, so same way like finir, choisir. So those verbs will be having the same radical, but these verbs will be a bit different. Okay, for our words, or, AUR. So these things you got to memorize same way like the past participles that you memorized. Okay, so in 6th standard, 7th standard, you are memorizing, you are learning the meanings of the verbs. Okay, then in 8th standard, you are learning the past participles. Okay, so then in 9th standard, so 10th standard, okay, you will be learning these things, the radicals. Okay, so then we got pronouns and so on, we'll see later. Okay, so this is actually the radicals. Okay, you can take a screenshot or you can just take note of it. Okay, anyway, we got this in your 9th standard notebook, if you remember. Okay, so or, and for at it's sir, aller it's ir, venir it's viandre, faire it's faire, vouloir it's voudre, and pouvoir pour, savoir sort, and connaître. So you just remove the e. Same way for dire. Okay, for lire also, écrire also, vendre. So devoir. Okay, so devre. And sortir, as I told you, sortir, same thing. Prendre, you just cut e. Okay, so these are some exceptions, some irregular verbs. Okay, the rest actually you can, if you are in need, okay, you can just take note. You can just write it in the, you can continue writing in the list by numbering it. Okay. Anyway, I'll just try to send a picture to our WhatsApp group. Okay. Voilà. And here. So the third exercise, mettez les verbes entre parenthèses au futur simple ou le futur proche. Okay, you can put the sentences, the verbs entre parenthèses inside the brackets in future simple or in future proche. So here we got some verbs: rentrer, pleuvoir, atterrir, rendre visite, arriver. Okay, so atterrir. Okay, so to land. Okay, so so l'année prochaine, the next year. Okay, so the next year. Je rentrerai. Okay, the verb rentrer is given. Des États-Unis avec mes parents. So the verb rentrer, you got to check if it should be conjugated with future simple ou future proche. Okay. So demain il pleuvoir sans doute. So it's going to rain. Okay. So pleuvoir, which means to rain. Sans doute. Okay, no doubt. So that way. And so dans quelques minutes. Okay, in some minutes. So l'avion. Okay, so l'avion atterrir à Paris CDG. Okay, à Paris CDG. So as I told you, it's actually name of an airport. Okay, so airport in Paris. So CDG stands for Charles de Gaulle. Okay, so Charles de Gaulle. It's actually one of the former president. Okay, of France. So atterrir, which means to land. Okay, to land. So it's atterrir. So in some minutes, okay, the flight is going to land in Paris, okay, CDG Paris. So bientôt nous rendre visite à nos grands-parents. So rendre visite. In English, we'll be just conjugating the verb visiter. To visit someone, we use just visiter. But in French, we use rendre visite, which makes more sense to render a visit. So here. And le médecin arrivé dans une heure. Okay, so médecin, the doctor, okay, arrive in 1 hour. Okay, so will arrive or va arriver. So here the answers. So the verb rentrer, okay, will be conjugating in future simple. So why? Because we got l'année prochaine, okay, which is not in the near future. We got some time for it. So it's actually better with the future simple. So it's an ER ending verb. You just add the endings. Je rentrerai des États-Unis avec mes parents. I'll return from United States with my parents. Okay. So l'année prochaine, which means the next year. So demain. Okay, demain means tomorrow. It's actually near future. So it's better we use future proche. Il va pleuvoir sans doute. Okay, it's going to rain without any doubt. Okay. Dans quelques minutes, in some minutes. Okay, as they say, it's actually near future. Okay, l'avion va atterrir à Paris CDG. The plane, the aircraft, okay, the aeroplane, is going to land in CDG Paris. Bientôt, nous rendrons visite à nos grands-parents. So you got to conjugate the verb rendre. Okay, visit it stays as in the noun form. Okay, so we don't conjugate visiter. We don't change anything in visit. So nous rendrons. Okay, we conjugate this in future simple because we use bientôt, which is not certain when and so on. So it's better we use future simple. Nous rendrons visite à nos grands-parents. Le médecin va arriver dans une heure. So in 1 hour. Okay, so 1 hour it's not so long. So we use future proche. Il va arriver. So the fourth exercise, you got to conjugate les verbes au future simple, just in future simple. So nous, the verb is given visiter le planétarium avec nos professeurs de l'école. So it's an ER ending verb, so you just got to add the ending, so no issues. Okay. Demain c'est dimanche, tomorrow it's Sunday. Je, the verb faire is given. It's not an ER ending verb, so you got to know the radical. Okay, the radical of the verb faire is F-E-R, faire. La grasse matinée. So the grasse matinée, which means you wake up late. Okay, you sleep well. You wake up at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Okay, you take brunch. Okay. So c'est ça la grasse matinée. That's what grasse matinée means. So it will be like je ferai, F-E-R-A-I, and vous sortir. Okay, as I told you, T-I-R ending verbs, the radical will remain the same. Vous sortirez avec vos amis ce soir. Okay, so you will go out with your friends this evening. You will go out. Okay, so nous s'amuser beaucoup pendant les vacances d'hiver. So nous amuserons. Okay, so the S apostrophe changes to nous. Nous nous amuserons. It's an ER ending verb, so we add ONS. Beaucoup pendant les vacances d'hiver. So we enjoy ourselves a lot during the winter holidays. So Emily apprendre une nouvelle langue ce semestre. So it's an RE ending verb. As you saw, the verb prendre, the radical, it's prendre. We cut E. Okay, the same thing we do for apprendre and comprendre. You cut E and add the ending. Emily apprendra. We just add A. une nouvelle langue ce semestre? Here the answers: visiterons, ferez, ne sortirez pas, nous amuserons, nous nous amuserons. Okay, so careful with this. Do not forget to write the second nous. Emily apprendra une nouvelle langue ce semestre. Okay, so Emily will learn a new language this semester. So going to the fifth exercise. Okay, so again you got to change this sentences to future sample, but you got to find the verb. Okay, you got to find the verb, then you got to change it to future sample. So the verbs are highlighted in red. So l'invité d'honneur. Okay, so the special guest, the honorable guest. Okay, so takes the speech. Okay, at the end of the ceremony. Okay, opening ceremony. The verb prendre is given. Mon ami s'occupe de mes chats pendant mon absence. Okay, my friend will take care. It's taking care of my cats during my absence. The verb s'occuper is there. Okay, so demain le cours de littérature française commence à midi. The verb commencer, ER ending verb, so this is an ER ending verb, no issues. Cette fois, nous fêtons le Pongal dans notre village natal. So we are celebrating Pongal in our native village this time. Le week-end prochain, the next weekend, nous allons en Normandie pour les vacances. So we are going to Normandy for the holidays. So the verb aller is here. Okay, so for the verb aller, the radical is IER. Okay, it's really difficult to guess. Okay, so only the practice will help you out. Right? Nous irons en Normandie pour les vacances. And the verb fêter, it's FETER. So it's an ER ending verb. Nous fêterons le Pongal dans notre village natal. So commencer, ER ending verb. Le cours de littérature française is the subject. Le cours, it's singular, masculine, so we take it for the ill form, third person singular masculine. So commencera, C-E-R-A, à midi, will start at noon. So mon ami s'occupera, ER ending verb, E-R-A, de mes chats pendant mon absence, will take care. So prendre, the verb prendre, prendre, you got E. So l'invité d'honneur, okay, so again it's third person masculine singular. So prendra la parole. Yeah, we have the answers: prendra, s'occupera, commencera, fêteront, iront. Oui, voilà. And moving to the sixth exercise, mettez les verbes au temps voulu. Okay, so you can just put the verbs in the correct tense, okay, which are wanted according to the sentence that are followed or that are before. Si tu es malade, ne pas aller à l'école. So they are just given in infinitive form, and you can just check there is no subject in the second half of the sentence, and it's an if condition. Okay, so if condition present. Okay, so the second half of the sentence will be in future or in imperative, right? Same way like in English. So if you are sick, you'll be saying, right, if you're sick, don't go to school. Okay, so especially nowadays. Okay, so if you are sick, don't go to school. So don't go to school, it's actually imperative form, imperative form. It will be like ne va pas à l'école. Okay, ne va pas à l'école. So you got to take the tu form. Okay, so ne va pas à l'école. So imperative, if you remember just the three forms. Okay, tu, nous, and vous without subjects. Okay, so voilà, ne va pas à l'école. S'il pleut, if it rains. Prendre ton impermeable. So it's actually the verb prendre is given in infinitive form. There is no subject, so we got to use imperative. So ton impermeable. So impermeable, which means the raincoat. So ton is given adjective possessive. So it is not a formal conversation, so we got to use the tu form for prendre. So it's PRENDS. Right? Prends ton impermeable. The third one, si vous voulez partir très tôt, if you would like to, if you want to leave very soon. Envoyer, the verb is given, envoyer, which means to send. To send, tout de suite la lettre au client. So tout de suite, it means immediately, the letter to the client. So again, you can see it's given in infinitive form. There is no subject. Okay, so it's better you can use. It's better we use imperative. Okay, so no other tense is possible here. And here it's given in the formal way. The conversation is started in the formal way. So you got to respect that. So you got to use envoyer. Envoyez. V-E-Z. So envoyer tout de suite la lettre au client. So the fourth one, s'il n'y a pas de courant, if there is no current, electricity, nous ne dash pas regarder le match. Okay, so the first half of the sentence it's in present. See, if there is no current, we could not watch the match. So if we could not will be used in future. Okay, future sample will be used in pourront. Nous ne pourrons pas regarder le match. Okay, POU double R is a radical, and then you add ONS. Oui. So les écoliers jouent au football s'il fait beau. So the if condition is at the last. So never mind, there is a subject. Again, last two sentences there is a subject. So and the if condition is in present. So the following should be in future sample. So les écoliers, third person plural. Okay, so third person masculine plural. So it will be like il form, ILS. So joueront, you just add ONT. Okay, les écoliers joueront au football s'il fait beau. Okay, if the weather is good, the school students, okay, will play football. Here are the answers. Ne va pas, from, envoyer, pourront, joueront. Right? So moving to the seventh exercise, it's actually a comparison. Faites des phrases avec les éléments de la comparaison. So when you got comparative exercise, you just got to remember these words. Plus, moins, que. Okay, so plus means more, moins means less, que means than. Okay, and also the agreement for the adjectives. Okay, we don't do this in English, but in French we got to do. Okay, you got to check if it's masculine, singular, or plural according to the subject. Will be like adding e or s. Okay, so to the adjectives. Yeah. So here, Ladakh Kadlo faire froid. So il fait plus froid à Ladakh qu'à Kadlo. So you can say it's more cold in Ladakh than in Kadlo. Okay, or Ladakh fait plus froid que Kadlo. So you can read this way or the other way. Okay. So land, la France, être grand. So mostly we'll be using the verb être. Okay. So land est plus grande. So land is feminine. So we use grande, we add an e. So this is what that chord means, the agreement. Okay, so if you got doubts, you can check the previous video, the line. Okay, so voilà. L'Inde est plus grande que la France. Okay, que it's important. Okay, so these three things make it comparative. Okay, so the verb être to be conjugated, then plus ou moins. So then comes que, then the second noun. Okay. So l'Himalaya, les Alpes, être haut. Okay, so Himalaya est plus haute que les Alpes. Okay, so the Himalaya, the verb être there. Okay, then plus haute. Okay, so it's actually feminine, so we add an e. Plus haute que les Alpes. Oui, it's haute means high or top. Oui, high. So la panthère, le lion, courir vite. So the verb courir is given, not the verb être. So courir, which means to run. La panthère court plus vite. Okay, so the panther runs faster or more fast than the lion. Que le lion, than the lion. So the last one, la rose, le coquelicot, être parfumé. Okay, so la rose is feminine. So la rose est plus parfumée. Okay, we add an e que le coquelicot. Okay, so poppy. Okay, so voilà, la rose est plus parfumée que le coquelicot. So this is actually the seventh exercise. So the eighth exercise is répondez au négatif. Okay, so answer in negative. So you got déjà. Okay, if you got déjà in the question, we'll be answering with the pas encore. Pas encore, not yet. Déjà means already. Pas encore, it's not yet. Il reste des. Okay, if you got il reste des, so we use ne plus, no more. Tu as déjà fini tes devoirs. You have already finished your homeworks. No, I haven't finished yet. Will be saying, right? Okay, so non, je n'ai pas encore fini mes devoirs. T changes to me. La secrétaire a déjà quitté le bureau. Non, elle n'a pas encore quitté le bureau. N'a pas encore quitté le bureau. Il reste des framboises à la maison. Non, Okay, we always start with no as it's negative. Non, il ne reste plus de fromage à la maison. Plus de fromage. Okay, so they changes to the, then it's a negative. So D, est-ce qu'il reste des exercices à finir? So are there any exercises left to finish? So no, il n'y a plus d'exercices à finir. Vous avez déjà visité la tour Eiffel? Non, je n'ai pas encore visité la tour Eiffel. So here the answers. Non, je n'ai pas encore fini mes devoirs. Non, elle n'a pas encore quitté le bureau. Non, il ne reste plus de framboises à la maison. Non, il ne reste plus d'exercices à finir. Non, je n'ai pas encore visité la tour Eiffel. Yeah. So here we got to find the question. Okay, so trouver la question, and so one more exercise we got the match. Okay, we'll continue this in the next session with the translation and question answers. So please maintain your classwork properly. Okay, so now mind whatever situation it is. Okay, so we don't know what's coming, so it's better we get to be ready. That's it. Okay, so there is nothing. Okay, so the assignment or homework, you just got to finish the classwork. Okay, you can just write these in your classwork neatly. That's enough. Okay. So merci beaucoup les gars. So thank you so much. We'll continue the next session. Take care. Be safe. Bye bye.